Ms Legalista here. Welcome to the video. Now, usually I take some time to check these out beforehand, but this one popped up in my feed. I thought I'd want to check it out, see what in the world is going on with Chase Bank and this apparent check cashing scam, what the two have to do with each other. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm not a fan of some of these financial institutions, not all of them, not all of them. Okay. Some of them are doing exactly what they should be doing. But then you have these others. Let's see what's going on here.
Update on a Mesa woman who became the victim of a very sophisticated check cashing scam.
She mailed a $10,000 check to a relative out of state. Someone stole it and cashed it, and now her bank says they're not covering it because of a technicality. Here's On Your Side's Gary Harper.
Now, before we get into the details of this, now I have some questions already, because in order for you to cash a check, somebody has to show some identification, and another person has to look at that identification and go, okay, yes, you look like that person. Or what is going on here? Maybe I'm just missing something.
Yeah, this viewer is out 10 grand, and she says it's because of two things. Number one, she says her bank misled her about any so-called investigation it claims it was doing. And number two, she says a play on words sealed her fate.
Oh, they did nothing.
Kate Duttler says she waited for months for Chase Bank to investigate a $10,000 check that she mailed out of state, a check that was stolen. Kate says she just found out that Chase Bank didn't investigate at all.
And
Gotcha. Okay, so let's stop here. So I think I got this. You know what? I'm just going to apologize to all of my viewers right now. I'm so confused as to what is going on here. I'm just going to stop talking. We're going to watch this video.
Chase Bank is doing nothing. And they're telling me that it's because I missed the deadline.
In a previous On Your Side report, Kate explained how she mailed this check to an elderly relative in Chicago, a check that her relative never received. When she logged online to her bank account to see what happened, she discovered disturbing news. Apparently, the check had been intercepted by a scammer, and as you can see, it was altered by removing her relative's name and writing in unprecedented eats instead in the pay-to-order line. Kate reported the fraud to Chase Bank, which gives you up to a year to report altered checks. Chase says the check wasn't altered.
They're putting the onus back on me now because they're saying that the check was counterfeit and that you only have 65 days to report a counterfeit check. Yet if the check is altered, you get a year.
You heard.
So wait a second. Before he even gets to that, how many people are going to know the technical difference between a counterfeit check and an altered check? Now, I say this sometimes when we're talking about legal terms, because a term that just may be used by people in everyday conversation may have an entirely different meaning when it's used in a courtroom or in a legal document, in a legal setting. May have an entirely different meaning. So who is going to know the difference between a counterfeit check and an altered check? Because to me, I'm going to tell you what I would think. If somebody said that to me, I don't work in banking, but I would think that a counterfeit check is something that has been created entirely new based off of your information, and that it is not a real check that you used to have. Okay, not one of your real checks, but a fake check that somebody made. An altered check, to me, would say the check itself was real, but something on it has been changed. Now, that is how I would think of it. But apparently, we need to have a learning lesson here about what these things mean.
Heard right. Chase told Kate the check was counterfeit, not altered, and the deadline for reporting a counterfeit check had already passed. At a glance, the checks look the same, but look closer, the pay-to-order line is different. So is the security info on the side.
I mean, it's like, wow, you're going to hold that against me?
And it
And it
Gets
did.
worse. The
Wow.
scammer cashed the forged check at TD Bank, and Chase reassured Kate for months that they were waiting for TD Bank to investigate.
And for months, every month, for 3 months, I've been getting a letter stating that they still haven't heard back from TD Bank.
But Chase admits it never actually contacted TD Bank and now says those letters were automatically generated. So Kate.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is why we're having so many issues. Tell me why I don't feel good about some of these financial institutions. So, first of all, they sent her automated letters. Okay, and that's what a lot of these institutions will do. They just pop these letters out. Okay, they're just popping these letters out. They need to put something in place. And I don't know when we're going to get to the point when we're going to say to our members of Congress, you have got to do something different here. You have got to pass some legislation that protects consumers because we are not being protected. And you can see this here. I'm going to slide back just a minute because I kind of, really got into that. I was shocked by what she just said. So let's listen to that again.
Heard back from TD Bank.
But Chase admits it never actually contacted TD Bank and now says those letters were automatically generated. So Kate is out $10,000 and the theft won't even be investigated, even though we now know who cashed it.
It's a crime, it was fraud, and Chase has done nothing.
Now remember that check was forged into saying unprecedented eats, but On Your Side was unable to pin down exactly what that company is or if there's even a physical address for it. I'm Gary Harper, On Your Side.
Now let's talk about maybe some next steps that she should be looking at if she has not already taken these steps. One is, has she gone to her attorney general? Usually your attorney general has a consumer protection division where you can file some sort of claim here and have them look into it. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, they got a long list a lot of times, and usually they're going after those companies that have a long list of complaints. If you're a person with just your one complaint, it's likely you're going to fall to the bottom of the totem pole. Let's just be honest here. Okay. You're also looking at maybe filing a complaint with this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay. Well, in this case, okay, you'll see how that goes. Get an attorney. That is going to be your key here. If you do not have an attorney already, if she does not have an attorney, I would get an attorney. This whole piece where Chase is sending you letters saying they're waiting to hear back from the bank and they've never even contacted TD Bank. And then so imagine here that the parties that you're going to sue, it's not just Chase, it's also TD Bank. Because TD Bank needs to be brought into this so that you can do discovery and find out who this other party is who got the money. What account did it go into? You finally get to have the identification so that you can now reach out to your law enforcement and say, I want this person arrested. And you can also look at filing a civil complaint to get that money back. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like, if you are working and you have family obligations and other responsibilities, this is like taking on a whole nother job. But this is a lot of money to have taken from you, especially if you can't afford it. This is a mess. This is actually a mess. Now, one of the things to think about is how we send money to other people. A lot of people no longer send checks through the mail because checks get stolen. People send money electronically. Well, guess what? Money gets stolen electronically too. I'm telling you, this is just hard. You're going to have to work hard to keep your money now. I hate to tell you. You're going to have to keep that. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.